Side ops list updated.
Alright. You.
Hard to believe how many of those bipedal weapons have popped up around Africa. When did that start? No more than 6 months ago. Didn't really hit me until I came here. They're not supposed to be in use yet. Emmerich says they were still doing the last round of fine-tuning. The doctor has no idea. His research has already hit the black market. Both sides of the Iron Curtain will have it by now. Even so, they're spreading much too fast. Sure, the Walker gears can operate in any terrain. Their mobility's just as good in the jungle as it is in the desert. That would come in handy in a place like Africa. They are modules that can one day be used as nuclear weapon systems. And with that in mind, the numbers are way too large. There must be another reason they're so widespread. Like what? It's all about needs. To small-time outfits like most of these private forces, this product is a dream come true. Hell, it goes beyond PFs. This is the ultimate weapon, the forbidden fruit. For anyone with an enemy to fight and people to defend. The nuclear deterrent. Exactly. Sounds familiar, huh? PFs are all operating off your playbook. You created these times. But could this be the new weapon in Africa that Emmerich talked about? If it is, why is Cypher letting everyone and his brother get their hands on one? What comes next? Selling nuclear weapons in the open? Making them public property? Why don't they give that a try? Then the next war really will be fought with sticks. Right. The man we're dealing with isn't foolish enough to make a suicide pact with the world. So, what is Cypher really up to?
Okay. So. Let's go, I guess. This is all just talking. And it's not me doing the talking. This time. I'm gonna forget how. Look at them, they're just staring at me.
The map has been updated.
Boss, about those invalids you saw in that devil's house. Poor bastards. All strapped down to the beds, with those lumps on their chest. The medical staff tell me they were probably a type of cyst. Cysts can get that big. In some cases, yes. But supposing they're a kind of atheroma forming on the surface of the skin.
Atheroma.
The size is just too big. The appearance is all wrong. In the end, the medical team were at a loss. Those lumps were like nothing they'd ever seen. The fluid you said you got on your prosthesis when you touched one was burned off in the fighting. And the factory burned down too. None of the tests we did once you were back at the base revealed a pathogen that could have caused them. Meaning we don't have a single...
This is bad.
Everything went up in flames. What worries the medical team most is whether it's contagious. Whether there's a chance we could end up like that. And Mother Base's sanitation control has always been strict. After all, war is great at transporting diseases. For the time being, at least. There's no sign... You gotta extract him.
Yep.
That could be related. One more thing. About the surgery that had been performed on the people in the Devil's House. Yeah. You said that their throats were cut open, with an acoustic tube pushed inside? Right. The tubes were hooked up to tape recorders, playing some kind of audio.
Yep, and that's how they were getting the correct
through your radio transmissions and
languages.
Here. The intel team has been working on analyzing the communications log. What have they found? There's nothing tying the contents together. We've got a report on 3 deaths in a car accident on the autoroute near Marseille. Protests outside the Libyan embassy in London. A press conference with the former Prime Minister. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Be quiet.
And then commercials for appliances, cough syrup, and TV dinners. Assuming they're not all staged, they come off as recordings of your average public broadcasts. Public broadcasts? Just radio and TV signals? Yes. And from all over the world.
We're looking into whether they're genuine or not, just to be sure.
I need to collect stuff
What else?
anyway.
A speech that sounds like it was recorded out on the street, and people chatting about how this year's tomato crop did.
And there's nothing they have in common?
We're partway through the cryptanalysis. That includes checking all audio ranges and running it backward and at different speeds. Then there's vocabulary breakdown for political suggestions, ideological comment points. But I don't think it's gonna get us anywhere.
Where were the recordings made?
There's nothing linking them from that angle either. Just like you reported, we've detected virtually every major language there is. French, German, Italian, Spanish, including South American accents. Then there's Russian, Hindi, Arabic, Portuguese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese.
They're nothing if not thorough.
Well, I don't know if we've got them all covered. Ignoring the ones that have gone extinct, supposedly over 5,000 languages exist today.
He's coming too.
English is
Roger that.
picked up.
Really? English.
I know. Only 5% of the world's population is a native English speaker. But when you factor in those who've acquired it as a second language, nearly 1/3 of the people speak it. The world's dominant lingua franca. You gotta figure they had it somewhere among all the languages in them.
No.
No English.
Bear in mind, we didn't hear everything that was played at the We couldn't isolate the more distant sounds due to static, and the program could have been set to change every day. In a nutshell, for reasons unknown, people in that room with a common medical condition were made to listen to recordings in languages from around the world. It's not clear how the growths on their chests fit into it. It could have been treatment for them, or maybe an experiment of some kind.
I'm guessing one person knows.
Yeah, Skullface. He was there. The only thing we can say for sure is that he's involved.
Subject on board.
Get me
Leave
in
the
there.
rest to us.
Get me in here. Okay. Am I good here?
Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember
Be
from
quiet.
the hospital? Anything we can use? Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers. The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Is that hard to believe? My box is wet. Really? No.
Enemy gunship.
No.
All along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Plant expansion complete. Please select a strike point. Strike requested.
Strike over there as a distraction.
Strike will commence shortly.
Really? You're joking. Get up. Oh my gosh.
Weather will clear shortly.
Fine. Okay, it stopped raining. So what can I listen to real quick?
Boss, we've got the results of Eli's genetic tests. We can
Seriously, you got out of the thing?
find us.
We used the PCR technique and conducted DNA fingerprinting of the copied DNA sequences. Neither is mainstream science yet, but the concepts and procedures are sound. Both tests say there is 0% chance that the two of you are blood relatives, meaning the
Huh?
results are negative.
One of the guys out on a mission at the time. He's
Hold on. Stop talking.
Will he come back to us? Bring him home, boss.
In appearance, certainly are.
Arrived at
Boss, we've
Metagate.
got the results of Eli's genetic tests. We can finally put this worry behind us.
Complete.
We use the neither is mainstream science yet, but the concepts and procedures are sound. Both tests say there is 0% chance that the two of you are blood relatives,
Really?
meaning the results are negative. He's not your son,
So
nor is he your clone. He's just another person.
that's good. Stop with the transmissions.
Ago that Zero made plans to clone you.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna lose my mind.
His age and appearance certainly are a good fit. I admit the first time I saw him, I did a double take. But it looks like we were worried for nothing. Eli isn't your clone. But you might still have one somewhere out there.
But if Eli isn't the boss's clone,
Please
why does he
select
seem so
landing
obsessed
zone.
with him? Not to mention having one hell of an attitude for his age.
Support has
Roger.
requested.
Learning the truth about himself, cursing the fact he's a clone, bearing a grudge against selfish adults, and coming to
Shut up.
hate who he was cloned from. Big Boss. If that were really the case, I could understand it. I might even feel a bit sorry for him. But no clone could have a totally different DNA fingerprint. And the test left no room for error. You
I'm-
yourself were there when they drew Eli's blood sample.
Come to think of it, when we went to OKB-0, snuck onto a chopper and was there.
Yeah.
He was acting strange even then. Or actually from a little before that time.
That was exactly when we began these tests.
Maybe he suspected something when we drew the sample, not knowing what we were doing to him, and becoming mistrustful of us.
Hard to say. Eli's had an attitude problem from day one.
So what is he then?
If he's gonna tell us that himself,
Support
we'll need to get him to
helicopter has
open up
arrived.
more first.
Okay. I don't know if I can get to this helicopter.
About the pathogen spreading through Mother Base. You've seen everything we've got on the outbreak. What's your opinion?
Textbook symptoms of vocal cord parasite infestation. And judging from this casualty list, it is
Please
the
select
Kikongo
mission.
strain,
Please select a
Meaning.
landing zone.
a breed of parasite
that triggers symptoms upon detecting pronunciation specific to Kikongo.
So our Kikongo-speaking staff are at risk.
Quite so.
He's right. All the victims do speak Kikongo.
So they can survive if they just use another language.
A landing
There is no guarantee.
Roger.
Dealing
The map
with the
has been
Kikongo strain.
updated.
Other language strains may be present. You well know he was teaching them languages from all over the world.
The Devil's House. Nzoya
We've
Bandia.
heard, I think we've heard all this before.
Now, we must
Oh my
wait
gosh,
for
they're after my
Wolbachia
helicopter.
to multiply in the larvae.
How is the disease transmitted? If it's carried by insects or rodents, then...
There is no intermediate host.
So...
The map
The
has been
vocal cord
updated.
parasites lay their eggs in the larynx of the host. Most hatch and migrate to the lungs, but some are transported to the mouth through saline movement, mixing in with saliva.
Saliva. Droplet transmission.
Sneezing, coughing,
Extraction arrived.
any food or water containing infected saliva. It would spread fast.
Indeed. And when the larvae
Our
migrate to
helicopter
the lungs,
has arrived.
symptoms can resemble the early stages of a cold, making it easy to infect others.
Meaning a simple conversation would be enough to pass it on.
Alright, so what happens after the larvae migrate to the lungs?
It is as I said before. They mature by feeding on alveolar tissue. Only then that noticeable symptoms appear in the host.
And by that point, it's too late. He's infected everyone else. It's one hell of a weapon you've created.
That is what Blanca Anna wanted. Something that would spread easily. In truth, he's not the reason.
You gotta extract him.
We will discuss that another time.
The Wolbachia have multiplied. We're preparing to extract them and begin vaccinating.
I don't think this one's important.
Is this really the only way? Sure, it'll prevent infection, but the cost?
You would rather remove their vocal
Yeah, it's not.
cords?
No. Tactical communication is the linchpin of what we do.
What if we were to ban the use of Kikongo?
Insufficient. First, there's no guarantee that only the Kikongo
Yeah,
strain.
you said that.
Second, there is the matter of how the parasites lay their eggs. Before they can copulate, they must be exposed to the pronunciation of a specific language for a period of time. Like a container filling with
Yeah.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
That was more of an effort than I was expecting to put in.
Side ops list updated.
Go, Tucker. What are the metallic archaea?
volcanic craters spewing sulfur. Water hot enough to boil your skin off. Ocean depths of 800 plus atmospheres.
Development project has
Wastelands
been added.
radioactive enough to kill you where you stand.
Hmm.
There are groups of organisms that survive despite. No. Because of living in such environments.
I've heard about them. Extremo... something.
Extremophiles. By selecting certain species,
specify
then
a project.
subculturing and repeatedly modifying them, I created a metallic offspring of pure archaea. They subsist on metals rather than organic matter.
And some of them even consume uranium?
Yes. Uranium enrichment archaea metabolize only uranium-235. As a result, they produce weapons-grade enriched uranium.
How is that possible?
Consider how plants fractionate carbon isotopes when they conduct photosynthesis. Nature possesses abilities beyond our imagination.
So it was Archaea that brought down your chopper?
Corrosive archaea, yes. They oxidize metals, feeding off the energy in the electrons they receive. What became of the wreckage?
We had the R&D team retrieve samples for study in airtight plastic containers, of course.
Prudent. We shall extract archaea from it in good time. They should help you fight back against Blaga Ana.
Any chance we could start now? It doesn't have to be a lot. I might just have another use for them.
If it's only a small amount you need.
That's fine. I'll get the R&D team to assist. Let's go.
South Africa was previously suspected of developing nuclear weapons.
Development
It already had a
complete.
conspicuous presence of the UN because of apartheid and its armed expansionism. But when neighboring Angola and Mozambique became socialist countries in
Not
74,
important.
This is Yellow Cake that Cypher was having the PFs transport.
Please
Before we
select
met
a
you,
mission.
the boss
What mission am I
recovered it from
missing?
a truck crossing the savannah. Are there metallic
Oh.
archaea inside it?
Yes, the archaea metabolize uranium-235 to subsist. They must be stored inside Yellow Cake. Or they
Interesting.
cannot survive.
so those biological traces we took for impurities were actually the real cargo.
Of course, they are deactivated, so they do
Let's
not
wait for
trigger
this
a
to
sudden
finish.
enrichment. They are like bacon.
And then we'll go into that one.
Yet, they do gradually enrich the
The
uranium.
man who
as they
sold the
feed.
world.
I imagine you
Pretty
detected
sure that's the final mission.
great traces.
Yeah, we did.
The end.
And the malachite that was loaded on the truck had traces of uranium in it too. So that's the flower, huh? Skullface was gonna sell do-it-yourself nuke kits. The uranium-enriching archaea complete
I don't
with the
think this is
user's
that
manual.
important.
And the ores with the uranium could be sourced by the client or provided by Cypher.
Even the trace amounts buried in proving that must have been that, and the ability.
Blah,
So
blah,
if the
blah.
amounts of uranium in the ores are low enough, they can get past any inspection. And you only need a tiny amount of the archaea to act as the yeast. No great challenge to smuggle that either. The first step towards saturating the world with nukes.
His plan. That was not my intention. My only goal in developing the metallic archaea was to save the Dene.
Yeah, okay.
What made you think a tool for creating
Okay,
undetectable
Okay,
nuclear
let's,
weapons would save your people?
After
Let's beat
70
this.
years,